outdoor season. Make no mistake about it. When you got the pads on, this is when the work truly starts, when you're preparing for an upcoming season. As we always do, though, we start the program off with big sales, and it was a big day. Appreciate everybody hanging in there, as you did yesterday, and choosing us because there's so many options out there. A lot of you wait to come on, and now more people are starting to roll back into the Big Sales Show, the National Football Show. We had some great conversations, at least text message-wise, with some of our friends over there at the NovaCare Center. Went on for the first day of pads for the Eagles. And like I said, this is really when the work starts, because this is when you really start your installments. This is when you start working on red zone. This is start working on 1st and 10. This is when you start working on 3rd and long. This is when it really starts to matter here as you prepare for the 2024 year. Hour 40 minutes. That's an eternity in today's NFL. That's an eternity. Compared to what those practices used to be, where they were only 45, 50 minutes, that's an eternity. Today's collective bargaining agreement doesn't really allow you to go crazy. And I think it's a 2-hour limit. So there's one thing that's noticeable. There's more reps, and there's more of an emphasis on conditioning and also on getting reps in. You're getting a ton of reps, especially the ones. Is what I'm understanding. The ones are getting a ton of reps. So you got to remember something. You got to put it all in perspective. My old Neanderthal ways, and back in the day when you did 3-hour, 2-a-day practices for both practices, those days are long gone, and they were unnecessary. You could pretty much get all the work you need in if you're effective and you're able to really isolate some of the things you want to work on each and every single day. And I think, again, today's way is a lot better. Now, again, you don't get to practice tackling. You really don't get a chance to do a lot of one-on-one like you did in the past. So developing offensive linemen, that's why they always take a little bit longer compared to the defensive linemen. Okay, so you're now going to start. By the way, I'm going to say something else here. They really are making an effort to just put 2023 in the rear view. I love it. This is really all positive stuff moving forward. As you're hearing some of the comments, and again, I must have been text messaging with people over there at practice today with about 5 people, 3 of them inside the Eagle organization. And I really got and took away some things. And again, listening to the players too. Remember something. No disrespect to reporters that are out there. I don't want to hear from you. No, sometimes it's necessary because you don't get the access. But a lot of it comes with slants. And it comes with opinions on what they saw and what they think they saw. I want to hear from the players. The players are going to tell you what's going on at practice. A reporter is not. They're going to tell you what's going on. Most of the worst thing, and I've said this, the worst thing that ever happened to a beat reporter or people who cover professional teams or even politics was the internet, because you can go right to the horse's mouth. What did you do today? I don't need a scribe to tell me, well, this is what they did. That's what you saw. So I listen to the player interviews and I make my own assessment, and you and I will make our own assessment. So I liked the hour and 40 minutes. Like I said, if you're looking at 2.5, 3-hour practices like it was back in the day, you've got to revamp your mentality here. These guys don't work hard enough. That's not the case. There's way more OTAs and minicamps in today's NFL than there ever was. The reason that you needed all that time in training camp was because most guys came into training camp fat. They didn't have all those crazy OTAs and mini camps and mandatory workouts or non-mandatory workouts. They didn't have all that. It's a 24 operation business now, the NFL. You've got to be in shape. You probably get a month off today in today's NFL. You don't get really a chance to get out of shape. So, yeah. DRC goes, don't switch side. Bro, you don't ever have to worry about me changing who I am. I've been doing this shit for 40 years almost. Ain't worrying about changing shit. By the way, you still got to go out and apply it. Okay, honey? This is talking about practice right now. I'll give you an Iverson line. So you don't have to worry about me changing how I approach things. Okay? But I like the hour and 40 minutes. So let's get to some of the takeaways. And I'm going to do a broad takeaway from today, some of the people that I've been texting going back and forth with. And then I'm going to give you actually the pads day. They're competing and working. They're competing and working, and there's competition going on out here. Quinyon Mitchell is getting an absolute lesson in how to play cornerback in the National Football League. Fantastic. When you can play against and practice against A.J. Brown, that's like a Harvard class that you're getting, or being taught by an astronaut how to be an astronaut. It's fantastic. You can't. I'd rather be coached by A.J. Brown than Vic Fangio any day. It seems like they got the bad taste and expectations of the lost Super Bowl out of their mouths and off their back. Absolutely. Muggsy, completely true. And it's a good thing. By the way, that's got to be a little bit on Nick. It's got to be a little bit on the organization. Okay? I think it's a great thing. They must have had conversations about this. So I'm very encouraged. Yeah, Quinyon Mitchell. Guys, look, I'm going to tell you until I see it. I would have taken Teron Arnold. However, and we're going to talk about him more so in depth here, Quinyon Mitchell. You're going against A.J. Brown. You're competing. And he's competing almost step for step with him. Great. There is nothing negative about this. Even if you get beat, A.J. Brown beats some of the best people on the planet in this league. And if you can win 60 or 50% of your day-to-day matchups in camp, you're so far ahead of the program. It's insane to even put a price tag on that, how important that is. Fantastic. A.J. Brown could go down. You know, they came out with the list of the Madden wide receivers. What was that list? And I completely disagree with the list. Tyreek Hill's not the best wide receiver in pro football. He's absolutely not the best. I would never. Here's that list. They got Tyreek Hill, Jefferson, Lamb, AJ fourth, Amon-Ra St. Brown fifth, Devontae Adams sixth, Jamar Chase seventh, Stephon Diggs eighth, Ayuk 9, Mike Evans 10. Here was mine: Jefferson 1, Adams 2, AJ 3, Chase 4, Evans 5, Hill 6, Lamb 7, and I'm going off their list. Amon-Ra St. Brown 8, Diggs 9, and Ayuk 10. I'm not putting Mike Evans out of the top 5 when you're going for your 11th straight 1,000-yard season. I am not taking him out of that and putting him 10th, or you're putting him down there. They had Mike Evans 10th. This guy's going for his 11th straight 1,000-yard season. That ain't happening. And A.J. Brown's a top 3 receiver. And I do not believe CeeDee Lamb is in his league. If you're going to build an offense, you're building it to A.J. Brown plays like Michael Irvin and Terrell Owens. I want that on my team. I'd rather have him any day over Tyreek Hill. Sills, but Tyreek Hill's fast. Yeah, well, that guy right there knocks people out. That's why I like him. Okay? Not happening. That's just not happening. Okay. Some more takeaways. So, Fred Johnson, according to Jeff Stoutland, had a pretty good day sitting in for Lane Johnson. Big sales, Calvin or Andre Johnson, who you got? Megatron. Even though I love Andre Johnson, you know he's a Kane. Calvin Johnson is just a freak show. Megatron will go down as one of the greatest freaks to ever play the position. Just true great. So he put Zach Bond on his back. They're competing. Good. This is what you want in camp. Competing. There's an energy in the building for the team. There is an energy in Eagle Camp. They want to get back on the rails. Okay. Isaiah Rodgers got the first crack at cornerback too. You know why? Veteran. Understands the position a little more. And Mitchell Knight might not have the apple as red as Vic Fangio wants yet. Remember something about Quinyon Mitchell. And if you can think about this, and I'll use a Nick Sirianni type of analogy. Right now, you're looking at Cooper DeJean. You're looking at Quinyon Mitchell. They're like green apples on the tree. How fast are they going to get to being ripe for you to pick them off the tree? Don't pick them too soon. Let that apple get red. These guys still are maturing as ball players. First day of pads. Great. Great. It's very noticeable the Eagles want Quinyon Mitchell on the field. Or maybe to the point Vic does. And you know what he's doing, I'm being told? According to Clint Hurt? They're coaching him the same way Vic Fangio coached Patrick Surtain in Denver. They moved him around early too and had him play every position. Why is that important? Dude, the more you know about the defense and what the ideology and terminology and technique of the defense is trying to accomplish by playing multiple positions, practicing in multiple. He was asked if he was ever really in the slot in Toledo. He said never. They just told me before practice. That is teaching communication, and it's also teaching everyone else's responsibility. What is he doing here? He's teaching them knowledge of the secondary. Communication, technique is how Quinyon Mitchell's going to get on the field, not his ability. His ability's gotten him in the league. Now it's about, do you know where to line up, and do you know what you're looking at? I can't tell you guys how crazy smart these OCs are, or how crazy great these defensive coordinators are. They scheme, disguise, do everything to confuse players, especially young players that don't have the proper technique or knowledge or experience to play back there. Okay? And so what you love about it is he's also open to going and learning how to play all these other different positions. Dime, slot, nickel, corner, all of that. It's going to this is the same way that they developed Patrick Surtain in Denver. Fantastic. Fantastic. And this is a Vic Fangio way of teaching him so that he can see. Okay? So he can see it play out in front of him. You know, it's one thing to draw it up on a chalkboard. It's another thing to have the player go out there and apply it. You know, you take these mental reps, and you hear people talking all the time about mental reps. Okay, it's great. But you got to go out and apply that. Because sometimes when you're looking at a play and you're looking at it in your playbook, or you're looking at it on a chalkboard, or you're looking at it on an overview, you're watching it there on a tablet, whatever. You see it, but you don't know how to put the technique to work when you're out there on the field. Field work supersedes everything. Don't ever forget that. No matter how many mental reps you take, no matter how many things you are here or heard or you're told, physical field reps supersede everything. They supersede everything. Getting the field reps. Once you get the field reps, that's how you're going to start applying some of the things that Vic is teaching you. A lot of work on both sides of the football. I mean, they're working hard on both sides, first and second team, getting a lot of reps out there. And it's a good sign on seeing how the Eagles are taking this camp. And guarantee you, this comes to the new coordinators, in my opinion. The new coordinators are not taking anything for granted. Got a lot of installments to do, and they're taking full opportunities of it. I'm going to say something here that, again, this probably goes against some of the things that Xander battles when he's talking in the mornings on Birds 365 with John McMullen. There's a lot of movement. Remember what we said yesterday to you? I heard Xander say this. You know what they're saying out there? It's noticeable even to the beat reporters that are covering the Eagles. You could see that the pre-snap motion is giving and opening up plays to make the plays more affordable to have success. That's what pre-snap movement is. That's what motion is. It gives that play a better opportunity at spacing. Spacing gives you a better chance at what? Success. The more, get this, when you're running a route tree and you're running a play, the key to it is getting off the line of scrimmage, your release, and also spacing. That's why last year, how many times, guys, did you see last year in the Eagle pass routes? They were just blanketed. They were never mature routes a year ago. Okay? I mean, very new routes. That's right, Sam. Getting a clean release is invaluable. That's what A.J. Brown's going to teach Quinyon Mitchell. Keep your hips inside, move everybody to the sidelines. It's a technique that Darrelle Revis and all the greats, Deion Sanders, because you're using two different, you got another defender helping you. That's the sidelines. Big Sills, happy Football Tuesday, brother. Truth, justice, and the Big Sills way. Love it, brother. Keep up the great work. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Please hit the like button, guys. Ton of motion. Really a lot of people moving a lot on that offense. And once again, just a ton of reps. Now, I want to get over to today's work and today's comments. I got this from a friend of mine that's out there and one of your coaches. Yes, there were 6 touchdowns and no picks, but there were a lot of missed opportunities down there too, and a lot of those were in the red zone there. Okay? I'm not saying he had a bad day, not doing that at all. I'm just tempering it a little bit here. I thought the defense, according to what they're saying, had a great day. And what I mean by that was there was a lot more plays to be made, but the defense seemingly got to some of the plays today and were effective in stopping some of the play. There was more to be out there for the offense. So the defense, you may see 6 touchdowns. That's set up for that. But when you're running 39 plays and you have 6 touchdowns and half the plays you're stopping them or getting to the quarterback, that's a good thing. Okay? That's a good thing. So I think both sides of the ball actually had a pretty good day today. And most notably, the defense getting to the offense down in the red zone. I think the Eagles have to still work on their red zone, actually. Hurts holding the ball a little bit too long still, especially down in the red zone. That was some of the things that were said, is that he was holding on to the ball and defense got to him a little bit down there. You know, I mean, by the way, you know, he threw one right to Ringo and he dropped it. So, I mean, what's being reported and what's being coached is a little bit different. I'm not saying the offense had a bad, I'm not at all saying that. I'm just talking about the defense did a nice job today, and don't be skewed by some of the numbers that you see people posting that would give you an impression that something completely happened that didn't. There were more plays out there for the offense to make that didn't happen. Okay? Now, again, nobody's saying Jalen was poor out. He was not. But he threw one right to Ringo, right in the chest, and he dropped it. So I do think they still have to work red zone. Still have to work a little bit on the red zone. Hey, don't forget, Xander will join us at 3:30. Then we'll have Gary Cobb, who was out there at practice, by the way, as well. That'll be at 4:30, so he'll give you a bird's eye view too. Good stuff by the defense. They might surprise me. Flexing, me too. Me too. They're getting out to a nice start here. Okay? Flexing, me too. They might. There could be some. There could be some good things coming out of this here. I'm worried about the D-line depth. Absolutely. Hopefully, Ojoma, two are ready to step up. Boy, I'll tell you what. Go get Adama Kitsu. Get some experience in there. Dylan, those two dudes. That if you're going to be using those guys as rotation guys, man, I don't feel comfortable with them. No disrespect, but I don't feel comfortable with them. So, what defensive rookies have been standing out so far? We're going to get to that. How about this one too, guys? You know why everything is so competitive out there? Let me give you guys a little insight about how camp goes. There's 53 seats on the planet or in your world. There's 53 chairs at NovaCare Center for active day rosters. 53. That's it. There's 53 seats in 32 cities. There's not very many of them. So if I put you on your back and you don't like it, fuck you. I'm trying to get one of them 53. It's one of the most competitive things you've ever been around or have ever been in. The tension is high. The stakes are high. Wealth is high. Futures are high. Don't ever miss that point. There are only 53 chairs in the world in 32 cities. Nobody takes anything for granted right now. 90 guys are in camp. 90. I get there's practice squads today and inactives, but you want to be on that active roster because that's where the active rosters are. So if you're competing out there, you're competing with people out there that are either trying to save their careers, expand their careers, further their careers, get paid. Everyone's got an agenda, especially when you're in training camp. Making that squad, there's nothing like it. I've never been in a room more competitive in my life than being in a training camp, watching men fight for a job. One of those jobs. There's nothing like it. Hands get thrown. Attitudes are everywhere. You're nervous. You're scared. You don't know what the coaches are thinking about you. 53 spots in 32 cities in the world. That's what you're fighting for. So when a guy like Fred Johnson puts a guy like Zach Bond on his back, that opens up the eyes of Jeff Stoutland, the organization. Not that that's a negative to Bond, but those two guys are competing. They're competing for roster spots. Two guys that you're looking at. Fred Johnson's a backup. Bond was a backup. These are guys fighting. They're fighting. Okay, good. Fantastic. Again, once again, I thought really the defensive football team, I think they're doing a great job out there too, especially in padded drills. A lot of plays on both sides of the football, as I said. One more time, Hurts holding on to the ball a little bit. You want to make sure you're working on that still because that was an issue a year ago. 39 reps for Jalen Hurts with the first team. Fantastic. I guarantee you last year was like 14 or 18. Kellen Moore wants to get things installed. More work a little bit in the red zone. Great. Really a good day for it's been a good camp. It's absolutely been a good camp. Now I'm going to get into some of the comments by two players that came to the microphone today. By the way, please hit the like button here. Grant Calcaterra. I'm impressed with him. He's had a heck of an offseason. Better blocking, better pass protector, and they're doing a little bit more with two tight end set because he's developing. You know what they're saying on defense? He's setting the edge for the offense. Doing a great job on the ends of the Eagles, which means he's going to get playing time. They may be running more two tight end sets than what they've run in the past because Grant Calcaterra is getting better. He's getting better. What round was that kid taken in? Okay, what round was he getting taken in? I forget what round he went. Was he a 5th rounder or something like that? 4th rounder? Well, he's getting better. Okay, he's getting better. Pass catching ability too. His hands are getting better. He's being 7th round still. Wow, that's a great find because he's an NFL tight end. He's not a front line guy where you're going to throw 70 targets at, but he's essential in what you want to do with two-back set, especially in red zone too, where you can go two tight end set down there. And get this, not only that, 31-7, 7th rounder, he's cheap. Guys like that, I told you this, half the rosters in the league are made up of guys taken in the latter rounds and undrafted free agents. Not everybody can make $70 million. Not everybody can. Good. This is what else he said. Kellen, it's a progression style. You know what that means? When he says it's a progression style offense, Kellen Moore has a progression style offense. What does that signal to you when he says that? When somebody says that Kellen Moore has a progression offense, what does that tell you? Distribution? That's probably to the point. Okay, that's probably to the point, Dexter. Couple more. What do you think? Progression. Check down, Sills, says Kyle. I thought Kellen does a lot of 11, but maybe I'm wrong. I think they're going to be a little bit different, Dylan, because of the quarterback skill set. Quick passes, smart decisions, timing. You know what I say? When I hear a guy like Grant Calcaterra saying Kellen Moore has a progression style offense, you know what that means? Everybody's an option. That means everybody should expect the ball to come to them instead of just two guys. Okay? Instead of just two guys, that means everyone's an option. When you run a progression offense, everyone is an option. Hurts has to read defenses. Totally true. But I'm going to tell you, Marshall, one of the things that they're helping him in with those readings of defenses and progression reading is alignment in motion. They're moving him and moving the players to make the play a lot more easier for Hurts. Kellen Moore is developing Jalen Hurts as a progression reader by motion. See, John McMullen has it wrong. He's talking about the play. He says this, how does that help Jalen? Well, Jalen recognizes the open guy more when he sees it. And he understands why Kellen's moving the motion. That's developing a quarterback's vision on how that play is going to be open or not. It's just common sense. If I can move a safety across the weak side and I've got strong side over here, and I've got 5-on-4, how the fuck does that not help my play? You got a mismatch in personnel before he even snapped the fucking ball. How is that not help the play? Again, you've got to make the play, but how does that not start the play with a win percentage that you want? Giving your quarterback an opportunity at a win to make that play. Common sense. Common sense. Stills, you're the man. We rock with you and Xander. My question, why did Peterson win a Super Bowl, but Reed with 5 NFC title games? No excuses for Reed. 34. One of the reasons that Andy Reid was not able to deliver you a Super Bowl, he did not have, in my opinion, the massive belief in McNabb. McNabb did not have the massive leadership skills that it took to take a team across the finish line. Andy was not as patient, and his time management was not very good in Philly. 2 minutes to the half, 2 minutes to the end of the game. His timeouts were atrocious. Mahomes has given him the affordability of patience because Mahomes could get down 21. If McNabb got down 21 in Philly, McNabb was losing that game. If Mahomes gets down 21 in Kansas City, he's winning that game. It's a different mindset. He's more of a leader. He's a better teammate. The whole thing. McNabb was just not a very good teammate. Not a good team. Or he was a teammate. You know what he was? He was a better Carson Wentz. He picked and chose which guys he wanted to be teammates with, and the rest of them, fuck off. By the way, that's how everyone looked at him. That's how everyone looked at him. And Andy was still green as a play caller. He's way better now. Now Mahomes makes him way better. But he's also developing Mahomes. Okay? I mean, yeah, Donovan McNabb was just a better Carson Wentz. Or a better Dak. So, I mean, yeah. He says the coaches really like what we're doing, and they're really liking what I'm doing. He said this, though, that was interesting. And this kind of supports Jalen Hurts. There was a lot of change at first. And I'm assuming he means terminology. So even for Grant Calcaterra, he was saying there was a lot of change. So when the organization came out to try to cover that, they absolutely were covering for the coach. When Hurts said there was 95% change to the offense, Grant Calcaterra is basically coming out today in the press conference telling you exactly that. There was a lot of change at first. A lot of change. Well, so you get this. Instead of having beat writers tell you and the organization tell you, you got two players telling you. Grant Calcaterra and Jalen Hurts. Who are you going to believe? Right? That's what I tell you. Listen to the players talk. They're going to tell you. Diego, how you doing, brother? Okay? Just remember that. You're putting too much blame on McNabb, Sills. At the end of the day, football is a team sport. Football may be a team sport, but the quarterback, if Dak Prescott gets his face kicked in for his inability to win a Super Bowl or get to a championship game, same with McNabb. He eats that same eggplant too. Okay? He eats that eggplant too. He's not subject to not having that also. Okay? So, yeah. I like it. He said this, there is a ton. Let me ask you this. And by the way, John McMullen does such a spectacular job for our channel. And if I ever come off where somebody thinks that I'm picking on him, please let me know, because I'm not. I absolutely admire John and what he does in his work and how hard he works for us and how hard he works getting great content out. So if it comes off ever like that, please just let me know, because I don't want that ever to be something that lands somewhere that someone doesn't know my true feelings. He's a teammate of mine here. But I will say this. Why in the hell would you run a ton of motion? Grant Calcaterra says, we have a ton of motion. Why would you run it if you didn't think it was doing something for your offense and helping your quarterback? You think you're doing it just for shits and giggles? Nothing you do in an offense, defensively or offensively, nothing you do is without a meaning. Whether it's disguise coverage, whether it's a decoy, whatever. There's nothing that is in a play that's just put into a play for bullshit. Everything matters because you got to explain that to players. Why are we doing this? Because good players ask you, why are we doing this? What's the effect of it? Because they want to know why I'm doing something. Will Jalen do better with read option over RPO? With the motion right now, Jameson, this is what they're doing. They're taking the RPO away with Barkley, and the read option is going to be a pseudo RPO. Less hits on the QB. Okay? Less hits on the QB. By the way, I want to say this about another guy and a coach that I heard today. This is going to be just a random comment. Michael Clay sounds like an NFL head coach. That's the first time I heard him talk. I thought I was listening to John Harbaugh. I was exceptionally impressed by him. I mean, I would interview him. He sounded like John Harbaugh. That could be one of your best coaches on your coaching staff. Hard to believe, first year, when he got the job to where he is now, he sounds like an NFL head coach. Seals, you've been in the locker rooms and played the legit. 34, thank you, my friend. I mean, Michael Clay sounds like an NFL head coach. Okay? Twiz, Sills never said Sean Desai sounded like a head coach. Ever. I wasn't the one saying that. Tony Romo said it. You got me confused. Tony Romo said that both coordinators last year, when he was calling games for the Eagles, basically said that the Eagles had two candidates for being coaches in the National Football League. You got the wrong guy. I said it was a good hire because of the people he worked with, Vic Fangio and also Pete Carroll. That's what I said. Those were your mentors. And by the way, Sean Desai had a great year until you fucked him over. He was 10-2 when you fired him. He had beaten some of the top coaches in the National Football League. So whatever you want to say about him, he had a great year. It was Patricia that screwed it up. And Nick. I could give you a list of great quarterbacks that Sean Desai, including Patrick Mahomes, the reigning Super Bowl MVP, that he out-schemed. He out-schemed Andy Reid. So Sean Desai out-schemed Andy Reid. Put that one in your hat. Quinyon Mitchell took to the podium. As I said, AJ and Q going back and forth. I mean, when you get a chance to play against greatness, and you get a chance and you're a young player, and you get beat, it's one thing to get beat by some guy like Queasy Watkins. Okay? It's another thing to get beat by A.J. Brown. A.J. comes up to you and says, you gave me free release. Can't do it, kid. If you're going to give me free release, make sure it's on your outside shoulder. Or your inside shoulder, excuse me, because that's where the traffic is. Inside releases. Why do you always want to have inside release? You don't want a guy running up the sideline on your outside shoulder because he's got the game on you. You're done. How many times do you see guys get the outside shoulder, run down the sidelines, and catch a 48-yard touchdown pass? You rarely see those guys streaking across the middle unless it's a blown coverage. All the traffic is back inside. You want to force everything to pursuit. if you're playing defense. Was it the size fault? We couldn't cover or tackle. For shit, we can get a how you doing. Can we get a how you doing? Chipped, absolutely. That's right. Was it the size fault? You couldn't tackle or cover. And then Patricia started putting your asses in press coverage, and you don't have press coverage corners a year ago. It was absolutely a shit show. I blame Nick and Howie for that 100%. Maybe even the owner too, who did that bullshit. So let me get here. He was asked by a reporter. He played corner, nickel, dime, and slot today. He's never played really slot. He was asked that question. He goes, no, I didn't play that in Toledo. He goes, what'd you make of it? Well, they want him on the field. Sinbad, thank you. Spinbad, thank you. They want him on the field. Okay? They want him on the field. But, here, watch this. You line up at corner. You got A.J. Brown on you. You line up at slot safety. You see the entire field in front of you. And you're watching corner play. You're watching middle zone play. You're watching banjo. You're watching underneath. You're watching zone coverage. You're watching all of it. You got a center field view of the entire defense sitting there in the slot. Teaches you run fits. Teaches you releases off the line of scrimmage with tight ends, block and release. Vic Fangio's given this kid a crash course. And that's going to apply with him out on the numbers. That's how you coach people. That's how you develop them. That's how you give them a crash course and get them up to speed quick, too. To me, when I hear that Quinyon Mitchell is being put in all these positions, it's only a matter of time between Bradbury being released or not. Unless there's an injury. The more they put him in all these positions like this, the quicker he'll be cut. Okay? I mean, they're moving him around and trying to create depth to put him on the football field. He's first option right now. Might be first option. He's first option as the number one guy to go in case something goes down. He might be the number one option by the time the season starts September 6th. Okay? Vic's giving him he's teaching him the same way they taught Patrick Surtain in Denver. It's great. Great. Mitchell was asked the question about AJ. He goes, he doesn't really say anything, while we're out there practicing, but after he'll come to me and he'll come up and say, hey, you know that jam? Don't jam me don't jam me like that and stop your feet. Clint's saying this. Kid's got great feet. I said, well, if you don't have great feet, you can't play in the league. You could do a lot of things with a lot of great players when you have great feet. And he's got great feet. He doesn't stop them. The moment you stop your feet, you're beat. Whether it's a D lineman, corner, linebacker, you're beat. The more you keep your feet moving, the more you have a chance of winning that play. Can't do it. In 2 years, this defense will be a shutdown defense. Let them all grow together. They're building something special in Philadelphia. Absolutely. Teams better get ready. Here we come. Spinbat, I'll say this to you too. You're probably going to have an opportunity to keep Vic Fangio in the building because he's a 70-year-old guy. He's not going to get a lot of other opportunities. He probably doesn't want a lot of other opportunities. So you might actually have an offensive line coach that'll stay there like a Supreme Court justice nominee or appointee, and you might have Vic in the same position like Jim Johnson. That's what you're looking for, continuity. You're looking to evolve, but you're also looking for continuity in your coaching staff. It's one thing that the Eagles have been poor at, has been continuity in their coaching staff. Once you start building something like that, that's why Nick is he's an anomaly. He's a poor play calling head coach that still has a job. And Nick is doing everything in his power right now to save his job. because he's got to show them. By the way, I don't think it has anything to do with wins. I think he has to show them that he can handle the role of being this so-called administrative type delegator of power to his assistant coaches. It's not anything. It's not called CEO. It's called delegating. It's a delegating head coach. This is your job. This is your job. And he's allowing his guys to be a head coach. Okay? Hey, guys, please do me a favor. We're trying to get to 200 likes today. Okay? Please, we're trying to get there. All right, guys? Appreciate it. By the way, everybody over on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and all of our platforms, please hit the like button. We so appreciate you guys. Okay? Guys, you don't hear me really say a lot of things in a positive way about the way they do business. There's an emphasis on doing the right things right now in Philly. I'm encouraged. Some more. I like the way they're moving him around. I just do, Quinyon Mitchell. I like the way they're moving him around. They're competing. Quinyon Mitchell. And again, I'm a Teron Arnold guy. But all the things he's saying, what players are saying about him, how he's staying step for step with AJ, his ability, there's no question. Right now, the only reason that he's not in the number one CB2 is because of experience. And that's why Isaiah Rodgers is opening up as the opening act there at CB2. Because again, remember what I told you yesterday. What was one of the things that I told you? Vic Fangio is going to play experience because those guys know what to do. He's giving a crash course to Quinyon Mitchell. Okay? He's giving a crash course to him. He's teaching him. And he's trying to expedite giving him the ability to be able to see. That's why he's getting a ton of reps. Don't say fuck Slay. Slay's important in this process. If you want to, hey, see Flex and say fuck Slay? No way. Slay is an important part of the development of Quinyon Mitchell. You cannot develop Quinyon Mitchell without Darius Slay and A.J. Brown. Those two guys in his ear, one guy telling you how to defend and the other guy showing you how to defend one of the top three receivers in the league. You can't. That's the greatest education you can ever get. Vic Fangio can't tell him anything more than what A.J. Brown and Darius Slay can tell him. Nothing. Okay? Nothing. Hey, Seals, Michael Parsons like Quinyon Mitchell. Doesn't shock me. Quinyon Mitchell's got a great story. Small town outside of Gainesville. Loyal. Talented. Good. Bama wanted him. Not a shocker. Okay? Mitchell looks up to Slay. He said, hey, he was, by the way, I don't think it was hyperbole. He was asked the question, what guy did you look at when you were in college? He said, Darius Slay. You got to remember something about Slay being an Eagle. And let's be candid here about it. Darius Slay has been a sensational Eagle. Every year he's been in the Pro Bowl. What more do you want from the fucking guy? I mean, he's been a Pro Bowler. Every year since you made that deal, you could put that in one of Howie Roseman's top 5 acquisitions, pro acquisitions in his time as an Eagle general manager. That's how good that move was. He's been a Pro Bowler. I mean, what more do you want from him? This is why it is huge. It's a huge deal that DeJohn being, oh God, him being out. There's nothing like field reps. Always remember that. There is nothing like field reps. Every single time. And when you hear a reporter say he's only out 3 weeks, 3 weeks in today's NFL with camps breaking the way they do is an eternity. Are you really trying to tell me looking what they're doing with Quinyon Mitchell, playing him at slot, nickel, dime, and corner. You're trying to tell me that you're just going to slug Cooper DeJean in September 6th and think he's going to be an impact player? Why in the world are you moving Quinyon Mitchell around so much? You're teaching him what to see in the secondary and what techniques are needed when you're at certain places on the field. And you know what you're also teaching him? Pursuit angles, tackle angles. It's a different tackling angle being a free and strong safety compared to being a corner on left side or right side. It's a completely different shoulder. Playing right guard and left guard are by far more difficult than you think. Think about this. How many people you can know how to use both hands? When you play right guard, you know why Micaiah Becton is more comfortable on the left side? He's not good at putting his left hand down. When you're on the right side, you got to put your left hand down. When you're over on the left side, you put your right hand down. Same thing with defensive tackles. Right tackle, right hand down. Left tackle, left hand down. All of the footwork is different. You just don't slug guys in. Because if that was the case, Vic Fangio would be right. I could take a corner, drop him in at safety, and he'd pick it up. How come some of the greatest athletes on the planet that have played corner can't make that transition? Why? It's a different skill set. It's a completely different skill set. Why is everything being based off last season when we had two DCs running different philosophies? Hey, Jarrell, I think they've moved from that. And by the way, you're only as good as the last season you played, and you're only as good as the last game you're in. I think actually last year might be the most beneficial thing that could happen to the 2024 Philadelphia Eagles. That was a shit show, and they don't want to repeat it. Kudos. You know how many organizations continue to do the same shit year in and year out, like the Jets, Arizona, Carolina? It's like they get hit in the face every year by the same right-hand punch, and they never duck. Eagles are ducking. They don't want to get hit like that again. Great. Sometimes that is one of the more difficult things to do, is put failure behind you. Jordan used to call it putting logs on the fire, fuel. And that's what used to get him and motivate him. People say, I'm only scoring champion. I can't win titles. I used to fuel his ass. Like the Cowboys. DeJean will eventually take Blankenship's starting job. Possibly. He's basically the exact same size, but more athletic. Sam, here's my only concern. Can you stay healthy? You know, availability sometimes supersede ability. I take a guy, like I said yesterday, that could play me 17 games versus Nakobe Dean any day. By the way, Nakobe Dean talks a lot of shit. Okay? I want to see him play. Had some type of arm tackle today. Dude, the guy getting the most reps is Zach Bond. Vic Fangio ain't playing that kid. You may see him in dime coverage, but you're not going to see Nakobe Dean in the starting lineup. There's no way. Reps are like gold nuggets right now. Let me help you guys out on first, second, and third team. And also where you are in the depth chart. There's no real depth chart right now. Please hit the like button, guys. The guys who get the most reps is the depth chart. The guys who are starting and the coaches are looking at, the more tape you have, that's the depth chart. Okay? That's who they like. That's who they want to watch. So wouldn't you say the Niners was with Mean B and more talent? Would we be fair? Would it be a fair statement? The Niners have the most talent right now in the NFC. Swanky. They have the most talent. Okay? But get this. You think Kansas City's got the most talent compared to San Francisco and Philly? And they've beaten both those teams in back-to-back years. Yeah, I do. Flexen, you're not as talented. You do not have Pro Bowlers at every level like San Francisco does on defense. So stop saying that. Your linebacking core, nobody would want. Your secondary is filled with youngsters. The 49ers have Pro Bowls at every level. Every level. D-line, linebackers, and secondary. You don't have anybody in Hufanga's league. You don't have anybody in Warner's league. Shit, you don't have anybody in Greenlaw's league. No, he's hurt. And you clearly don't have anybody in Nick Bosa's league. Not remotely close. They have Pro Bowlers at every level, going from the back end of the defense to the offensive line, to the quarterback, to the running back, and receivers, and tight end. It's a litany of Pro Bowlers on both sides of the ball. Twisco, San Francisco choked. Well, so did you then. Then so did you. I think the 49ers don't win the Super Bowl this year. Shanahan will get fired. I think eventually, man, that you can't keep calling him the greatest play call in the NFL and not win. So, I mean, that'd be a tough putt for Jed York and them guys and John Lynch to fire him. But boy, you got to come through, man. You got to win. You're gauged on one thing, and that's fucking winning the Super Bowl. Birds are not better coached. Kyle Shanahan is a play-calling NFL head coach that's a better play caller than Kellen Moore is. Plain and simple. Kellen Moore can't even get out of the first round. This is a big year for him. By the way, this is a big year for Kellen Moore. There's no excuses for him either. So, okay, it was Dak you want to blame. Okay. What will be the excuse if he doesn't get to an NFC championship game and they get bounced in the opening round of the playoffs? Then there is no excuses for Kellen Moore. His NFL coaching career, when it comes to being an NFL head coach, is on the line this year. You know, you can use the lame-ass excuse it was Dak. Okay, fair enough. Can't use it now in Philly. Can't use it now. Either you get to the NFC title, at least get out of the first round. He's never been out of the first round. It's Dak's fault. Okay. That excuse goes away now. Hey, you want to use that? You better get out of the first round this year, Kellen. Or it's a youth thing too. It's a youth thing. 49ers will break up soon. Agreed. Too many players have to be paid. Absolutely. Plus, nobody does the contract structuring that Philly does. That goes to your owner. That's one of the coolest things that the owner does. Pay up front instead of back end, knowing full well that the cap ends up. Now, they've got $300 million in cap money coming due, but they'll restructure it because that's what that guy does. Senor makes a great comparison. Kyle Shanahan is Andy Reid 2.0 in Philly. You're right. Maybe he has to go somewhere else. Because Brock Purdy, in my opinion, this is what's going to happen in San Francisco with Brock Purdy. They're going to pay him $58 million. Okay? Then they're going to lose Ayuk, Debo, maybe Kittle. And then you know what you're going to have? Jimmy Garoppolo 2.0. Or Derek Carr. Because I think he's good with talent around him. I don't think he can carry a football team. Again, I don't think the guy in Philly can carry a football team with lesser talent. Every time you take someone off the huddle and out of the huddle. Now, I think he can more than Purdy, because last year, if you remember right, Lane got hurt and they won. Trent got hurt and they were a train wreck. Then Debo went out and it was a shit show. So I think Jalen is a little bit better than him. But I think Purdy is fool's gold. I think when you got everything perfect around him, the play caller and everything, I think those 4 years starting at Iowa State benefited him more than anything you can imagine. But being able to carry a team, I'm not sold. I'm not sold. Just not sold. Now, he's doing great things. 2 NFC title games, got to a Super Bowl, got to a fifth quarter in a Super Bowl. He actually took his team further in the Super Bowl than Jalen did. They went to overtime. But the Niners are going to have to make a decision. Is that guy really Joe Montana? Is he really Joe Montana? Or can Kyle Shanahan think that he could take another drop back guy and turn him into Jimmy Garoppolo, Brock Purdy? We'll see. How do you feel about our corner situation, Sills? Promising. Isaiah Rodgers and Keely Ringo and Quinyon Mitchell, those are your guys for that cornerback 2 spot. My preference would be Mitchell. You drafted him 20th, right? Was it 20? 22. You drafted him 22. Okay? I want him. Once Purdy gets paid, he's a liability. Admit it. I just did. Sills, do you see the Eagles in the Super Bowl in 24? Not until I see the defense play, Marcus. On July 30th? No. No, I do not. I want to see him cover people. I want to see him play defense. Am I less worried about the O? Yeah. But you got to have 3 ports. I'm not. You know what's really also going to be an issue, an interesting thing? These new kickoff rules. It's going to put an emphasis on special teams. Keep an eye on that. Now they're starting to adjust some of the rules that they first implemented with the competition committee. Now they're trying to change them up a little bit before the start of the season. I don't think they really know what they want to do when it comes to the kickoff. You got to get some consistency and you got to stick to it. So they're changing it on the fly. They don't like this. Now they're changing a little bit of the dynamics. Not a fan of that. How do you feel about Hassan Reddick situation? Did Howie handle it well? No. However, because, hey, Dijon, I would rather have had Reddick on the team and have him play it out. And if Reddick wanted $4 million more, Reddick and Huff on the other side, both sides, I'd feel more comfortable with Nolan. I'd feel more comfortable with Reddick and Huff than I would with Huff and Nolan Smith. If those are going to be my outside rushers and Will and Sam, then I feel more comfortable having Reddick. Reddick's the better player. Okay, he's the better player. If we're a top 10 offense and a top 20 defense, you think we're past the divisional round? I think if you're top 15 defense. Is that cool? If you're top 10, listen, top 10 offense is a failure. Brian Johnson was 8th last year. You got to be better than top 10. You got to be top 3. Okay? The money you're paying, top 10 ain't cutting it. Top 10 ain't cutting it. Sills, a team that is loaded on both sides gets points for going to overtime. But a team that scores 35 points doesn't. Dude, that football team went to the 4th quarter, and if the new rules weren't changed, the Niners win the Super Bowl. Are you trying to tell me a football team taking a team to overtime, having to lead in overtime, is better than a team scoring 35 points on somebody? It took 5 quarters for the Chiefs to beat them. It took more time to beat them. The Chiefs had to go extra time to beat them. You're telling me, because you score points in a situation that's greater than taking a team to extra time? I don't agree with that. You had to play a full extra quarter almost to beat them. Almost an entire another 15 minutes to beat that team. Sorry, dude. No. It's like going to overtime in a fight. Well, it's even. Both guys have 10 points. Really played well, but we still got to go to overtime. Okay. Chills, that Super Bowl changed when Greenlaw got hurt. Kyle, two things happened in the NFC side this past offseason. Detroit's inability to be able to coach that football team when they had the lead against San Francisco. And obviously, when Greenlaw got hurt, it did change the dynamic because even 15 was pointing it out. Greenlaw got hurt. And that's when they started running the RPOs. Seals, that's a dumb take. Still lost the damn game no matter what quarter it is. No shit, dude. One game was longer than the other game. That's all I said. Whatever. I'm not making excuses for an L. You're the ones that make excuses for an L. Jalen played great in the loss. Who fucking cares? I'm just telling you the Niners took the game longer and played longer, and the Chiefs had to do more to beat them. Common sense. Not an excuse, reality. That's what happened. That's what happened. One team took a team longer to beat than the other team. Nobody's making an excuse. That's the reality of what happened. Does not an excuse. I'm just repeating history. Okay? At the end of the day, who does fucking care? Sills loves stats. No. The only stat I like, how many Lombardis do you have in your window at your NovaCare Center or over there in Santa Clara with the 49ers or in Valley Ranch with the Cowboys? It's the only thing that matters. Okay, guy. Okay. You can say if Jalen Hurts fumbled the ball, we would have won. I don't care about that. I don't care. Does the Super Bowl hangover hit the 49ers this season? And wear them out like it did the Eagles last year? Maybe. Busy goes, just prolong the ass whooping. There was no ass whooping in the Super Bowl. There was no ass whooping. You must have watched a different game. 2024 is here. We have Saquon Barkley, got a lot of good young talent. Yes. Paid both Smitty and AJ. Jalen is healthy. Let's do this. Forrest, I think that's the takeaway so far in the first week. Absolutely. Some really great stuff here, man. Again, like I said, those 6 touchdowns were a little bit of a mirror today. Okay? Guys, please hit the like button. We really appreciate it. You're killing it today. Thank you. Okay? Prince goes, you're so biased. Bro, I don't root for a team. I don't root for anybody. I root for greatness. I don't have a favorite NFL team. I never have. And people go like this, why do you have the Bucks? They drafted me. Everything you see behind me outside of my daughter's hat right here, I played for the Canes and I played for the Bucks. And I was drafted in Tampa. You don't see any other memorabilia up there for any other team other than things that I did. I don't know what you're talking about. And this was given to me by one of the greatest 34 defensive end in the history of the sport, Leroy Selman. And I wore 93 because he wore 93 in college. Okay? Sills was wearing a Bucks hat after that 32-9 smackdown. I was. Go get him, Bucks. Not even a Jerome Brown jersey? No, I just got this. Still got this back here. Still got this. Hey, Roland, I know, man. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Hey, he was. Shit was funny. Hey, Xander goes. I think Xander even pointed that out. You wearing a bug hat? Ah, yeah, I guess I think I did. Hey, you know what? Just because I'm a professional agitator, okay? So I'm a professional agitator. I get it. Okay? Sills wouldn't wear that Bugs hat in Philadelphia, that's for sure. You're under some impression that I fear people. I don't. The 40, oh my God, look at Prince trying to legislate why his Super Bowl performance was better than the Niners' Super Bowl performance, and they're both L's. I just pointed out a fact that one team went to an extra quarter, and this guy's all butthurt. Don't worry about it, Prince. Take a couple plays off, kid. You'll be all right. We played better in our Super Bowl versus the Niners. Who fucking cares? I just said one team played longer. This guy's crying about it. But we played better, and my guy was better than Mahomes. That's why Mahomes got the ring. He's going for a third straight. Whatever. Okay, Prince. He's so biased. No, I'm not biased. I'm a realist. They won 2 straight. Oh, you're showing how dumb I am because my guys played better than the Niners did. Okay. Keep legislating 2 fucking L's. The Niners and the Eagles telling me which guy was better in their loss. How stupid. Who fucking cares? Way to go, Prince. You want to know what dumb is? Keep bringing those topics up. Hey, do you think we played better than the Niners played in our loss versus their loss? What do you think? Hey, you can't say that just because they played a 5th quarter. Holy shit. Dude, honestly, give it a rest. Give it a rest, kid. You might want to take that play off. Hey, can you believe it? We played better in our loss than the Niners did. You're like, who fucking cares? Oh, that's why I didn't make it. Okay. Now it's about me. Somehow it turned from his stupidity and his idiotic argument about who played better in their L in the Super Bowl to the Chiefs to me not making it. Woo, man. Hey, you sound like people that are in politics right now, moving off the topic and moving off the subject. Way to go, kid. Keep it going, Prince. I can't comprehend. No, I can't comprehend you defending an L. Who beat the Chiefs in 23? Who fucking cares about that, too? Hey, you know what's great, Twiz? You beat the Chiefs in 23 and lose to the Jets, or you lose to the Giants. Okay? If you had followed it up with a NFC title appearance, at least, instead of getting mowed over by a lawnmower known as the Bucks in the wild card game, it might have mattered. It might have mattered. They beat your boy Allen too. Yeah, and you lose to Drew Lock. Good night. Good night. Good night. Oh man. Gotta love it, man. You gotta love it. Hey, once again, though, great day today. First day of practice. No mistake about it. They beat Dak, Mahomes, Allen, and Tua. And they got rolled by the Bucks and Baker Mayfield. So the last 3, am I right? The last 3 quarterbacks you lost to were Drew Lock, Kyler Murray, the pizza guy in New York, and Mayfield. Solid. Solid. You beat the Bucks, and the Bucks beat the shit out of you in a game that mattered. Woo! Jerome would have gone down as one of the greatest of all time, especially playing with Reggie, who wasn't killed in the crash. No question. No question about it. Better than Sapp, in my opinion. How you doing, Ken? All good. Only time Sil's really cooking is when he reheats his pizza in the microwave. I don't eat microwave pizza, dickhead. Well, who do you think I am, a white guy? Italians don't eat reheated box microwave pizza. What are you, an asshole? Who in the world eats microwave pizza? That's like telling me like the Olive Garden is really an Italian restaurant. Okay? Hey, Sills, I went to the best Italian restaurant on the planet. Where? I went to Olive Garden. Olive Garden's not an Italian restaurant, guy. Cold pizzas for champions, microwave pizzas for losers. Right. Dude, you get a pizza from a great place that is a great Italian pizza place, and then you eat it cold the next day, all good. You take box microwave pizza from Papa Giorgio's, or whatever the guy's name is, Papa John's, or one of them other stupid places, and you heat that up in a microwave, you're a freaking loser. Nobody in their right mind from Philly would eat microwave pizza unless you're an idiot that buys it at Wawa. Microwave pizza. Hey, Niner all day. Hey, get this. Go up to, hey, go, look at Niner all day. Hey, Niner all day. You go up to North Beach and you bring that up with microwave pizza, you'll get run the hell out of North Beach, and you know better than that. You know better than that. All the Italian joints up there? Papa Giorgio's. Yeah, hey, I ate Papa Giorgio's, man. That microwave pizza was dope. He said, get out of my house. I'll throw you out. Get out. Do you have any microwave pizza? No. No, I don't. Hey, Sills, do you have microwave meatballs? No, I don't. You either make them homemade or we don't cook and microwave meatballs here. What do you think? This is an Irish? What do you think? This is an Irish pub here? Only the Irish guys eat microwave pizzas and meatballs. Oh, man. Only thing C24 has ever said that's right. Get this man some help. You're damn right, dude. Reheating that. Reheat in the oven, fat boy. Hey, flexing. Don't worry about it, kid. Take a playoff. You and Prince go sit over there and tell us what guy had a better game in their L versus the Chiefs in the Super Bowl. And you two guys can just battle it out. Hey, man, Jalen, if he doesn't fumble, we win that game. You know what? Sileo's crazy. Hey, our L is better than the 49ers L. Are you crazy? Our guy played better in the L. Okay. That's what they're debating. Twiz and Prince are debating who had the better L in the Super Bowl versus the Chiefs. I bet that's a healthy combo. It can only happen here. Only here on the National Football Show can you get shit like that. It's gold, Twiz. Twiz, you and Prince today are gold. You're just too stupid to comprehend. Yeah, I am too stupid to comprehend that. Absolutely. I'm not debating who had a better L. Read these are Dr. Seuss words. Bro, sheesh. Yeah, okay. Hey, can someone please get me a UN translator for Prince? I'm not sure what the fuck he's saying between the L loss to the Chiefs and now that post. Just a couple more to help me out. See, I'm in a good mood because you should be in a good mood about your Eagles. You should. You should. Imagine comparing losses. Better L's. L's, period. Nothing to say. Absolutely. Absolutely, man. Right? You're dumb. You couldn't even read that. Because I probably didn't want to. Sill started it with the 5-quarter take. Are you calling me an agitator? 5 quarters, the 5-quarter take bugs you that much because I said the Niners played longer in a Super Bowl than you did. and took the Chiefs to another quarter. That bugged you. And you got butthurt over that. I bet spilt milk and burnt toast bugs you too. Is that right? If we had any experience on the back, I would talk about trading Slay and freeing up some cap space. Now you need that guy back there, brother. Sills, guys like Prince like comparing which pile of shit is worse. Look at this pile of shit versus this pile of shit. This one here has less seeds in it than this one. So this guy's probably doesn't stink as much because this guy ate more corn. Probably so. Hey, I do have one thing. I'm going to take a time out before. Hey, listen, no communist references to Xander Krause. We can't have that on a day like this. We're going to get Xander's takeaways too because he's been out there talking to John McMullen. And those guys have been kind of texting back and forth. And John was out there as his eagle eyes. So we'll be able to get a little bit of his perspective as well. Aren't stats from L's games too? Yeah. Yeah. Hey, I played great in an L. Hey, what's your best game? You know, when I lost 47-20, you should have seen how well I played. It was great. I was unbelievable. I had 10 catches and 114 yards receiving. I sound like A.J. Brown. Hey, or I sound like Darius Slay. Hey, I was great. Wait a minute. Your defense was 31st in the NFL in pass defense. Yeah, but I played great. Oh, okay. Sills, watch out. Sirianni's right behind you. Nah. I think Sirianni's Sirianni's had a good week. He's actually had a pretty good time in front of the microphone for the first time. Okay, Sills, I heard Jalen Carter was good today. Yeah, Clint Hurtt said that he just wants, his energy. The key is not going, listen, the key for those two dudes is going to be, are you going to play like that in week 17 or week 18? That's going to be the key for them too. All right, I'm going to take a timeout. Where are we in the likes right now? Let's hear where we are in the likes. Guys, I want to get to 200 likes. Got a ton. We're at 130 right now. We got 70 to 200. Guys, hour and a half left of the program to get 70. Fantastic stuff. And I appreciate everybody coming aboard. Don't forget Gary Cobb, who was out there also at Eagle Camp, will be with us at 4:30. So hit the like button. Xander Krause right around the corner. Keep it here, National Football Show.
If you missed any of today's show on the JAKIB Media channel, listen to the podcast on your way home. Available on YouTube, Apple, and Spotify.